T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That is right, you guys. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. What can I say? I mean, it is the last SmackDown of the year that took place in Tampa, Florida. If you guys don't know, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Driune Santana, Drune. This week on find me here at Women's Wrestling Talk, your EIC of WWE. And of course, want to have the only dominating tag team in Women's Wrestling Talk history, the Salt Shakers. And of course, I have my co-host here, Stephanie, who has on these hard glasses. I don't know what's going on. I mean, you're about to bring in New Year's Eve with Stephanie and I. So, I mean, like, we're here for SmackDown, we're here for Rampage. There was a lot of things that really transpired tonight on SmackDown. Stephanie, how are you feeling? So this is pretty much where we start off with every week is SmackDown. How are you feeling about tonight's show?
Oh my God. I'm so happy, first of all, always to be with you on a Friday night on this New Year's Eve. But most definitely, like, this episode of SmackDown was like on 10. And I'm just so excited that this is what we're leaving the year with, because usually around this time when everything is the holidays, you know, everybody's chilling and just kind of, you know, ushering into the new year in a peaceful way. No, baby, wrestling decided that they were just going to put the pedal to the metal into 2023. And I am okay with that, because look, this year has been anything but normal in wrestling. Okay. There are things that have happened that we didn't think would happen, and things that happened, and all of the above and all the things. So you know what? I feel like this was a perfect night. SmackDown was great. Rampage was okay for the most part. So you know what? I'm really excited to talk about it. And of course, in the comments going crazy as we're talking about things, you know, just comment and you might see your comment on the screen. Like, tell us how you felt, because this episode, wrestling tonight, was fire.
It was. It definitely was, no lie. And I have slightly spilled my hot cocoa.
Oh.
So don't mind me. Don't mind me. Over here.
Sounds good.
I don't know. Girl. She got a mind of her own. But let's dive into SmackDown. Of course,
yes.
Start off with Bray Wyatt, who makes his entrance into the ring, open up the show. And I mean, of course, you know, Bray Wyatt did have his first match, sort of quota, on WWE live event this past weekend through the holiday tour. Then slightly injured his finger, but nonetheless, he was met in the ring with LA Knight, who basically challenged Bray Wyatt to a match at Royal Rumble. And Bray Wyatt ended up accepting the challenge. But out comes Uncle Howdy. And basically what we thought was the fact that Uncle Howdy was going to be be on the side of Bray Wyatt. He chooses to Sister Abigail him, leaving people in a lot of different speculations of what exactly is going to happen and what is going on. And you can kind of see how all of this is like a pitch black. Let's just say that. And they actually did go ahead and announce the match for the night that Bray Wyatt and LA Knight will be facing each other at Royal Rumble in a blackout match. So LA Knight disappeared outside of the ring and everything like that. And I mean, like, it kind of makes you wonder who is the person that is behind. Oh my God, shut up. Who is behind Uncle Howdy, to be honest. I don't know. What do you think, Stephanie?
Yeah, this whole segment surprised me because it was really coming off like we was gonna get like a real blow off between Bray and LA because they both have just been at each other's throats, back and forth, or at least any entity that looked like it was associated with Bray Wyatt has been back and forth with LA Knight too. So I didn't know what was really about to happen. I thought these two were really about to fight now, but then they said, of course, that they're going to challenge each other after the Royal Rumble, which I'm not mad about because, of course, you got to start preparing for that. That's coming up. But at the same time, this is what's going on in terms of them getting ready to fight each other. And I'm okay with that. But when Uncle Howdy came out, like, I really thought it was going to be like a 2-on-1 situation. But then as it turns out, Uncle Howdy wound up turning on Bray. But the thing that got me together was the fact that before Uncle Howdy came out, the footage that played beforehand with the little montage, he was saying revel in what you are, like bask in the darkness or something like that. And I feel like that's been something that Bray Wyatt has been struggling with, since he's come back. Does he feed fully into the darkness, that he used to feed into, or does he, remain this lighter, more enlightened version of himself that's seemingly healed but still being tortured? So it looks like that Uncle Howdy might be trying to pull him to a darker, more vicious side that he's more used to, but Bray is just trying to pull himself away from that. So maybe that's the reason why he got attacked. But LA was just looking confused, like, bro, what is really going on? What is really going on? So all in all, this segment was really good. And here again, this is just another example of us being in Bray Wyatt's world. So yeah, it was really good. And I was really enthralled with all of it because I thought we was about to figure out who Uncle Howdy was, but we didn't. But either way, it was still interesting.
Yeah, I thought we would have too. This Uncle Howdy was a lot shorter than the last one that we did see. So who knows? Maybe around Royal Rumble when this match does happen, we will find out exactly who Uncle Howdy is. Here
Well,
we have. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a question though, because I see Joseph in the comments saying that his brother thinks it's Vincent. Who is Vincent?
Vincent he was in Honor No More with at Impact with Eddie Edwards and like PCO and all this and that. But he's also part of the Righteousness in ROH. When they once held the ROH, I think triple tag team champions that they had, trios titles that they have in ROH. So he's a part of that promotion, but he has been speculated to be seen around in WWE. He was at an NXT show. Him and another guy who is a part of the Righteousness was there as well. So, I mean, it could be Vincent. It could be, but honestly, he would play that character in that kind of way. So, I really wouldn't mind it if it was him.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Because I didn't know.
No problem. Listen, I've seen that man in person plenty of times, and I'm just like, So we have here a slight lovely hug from Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman as Sami was trying to get inside to talk to the tribal chief, but it's like Paul was kind of like blocking the door entrance from allowing Sami to come in to be able to talk to Roman or the rest of the bloodline and things like that. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, it just kind of felt as if like, Paul is not really that trusting of Sami, and eventually somewhere down the line it's trickling that maybe the bloodline would not be so trusting of Sami either. Stephanie, what did you think? Do you like with this interaction between Paul and Sami, did you feel like it was a little bit weird, or is it like the usual? It's like how it was in the beginning when Sami was trying to always get into Roman's locker room?
It did feel like it was kinda like how it was in the beginning where he just kept trying to get in and trying to be a part of the bloodline, but yet he was always being blocked by Jay, except this time it was by Paul. And I feel like it's a little bit different in the sense that I feel like you know that something has switched when you're getting blocked by Paul, even when you've proven yourself. And the saddest part about this for me is just it's almost parallel to how Roman was treating Jay
Mm-hmm.
and how he was sort of, shutting him out until he finally decided to let him in and he broke him down to nothing and then made him, compliant with his will. And it's just like what really told it for me was when Paul actually mentioned that people were chanting Sammy's name. And that really kind of the writing on the wall started showing then. It was subtle, but if you understood what that could mean, then for me, I was just like, oh, so this is bothering Roman. Roman is mad about the idea, possibly, slightly angry at the idea that Sammy is getting all this attention and it's not supposed to be about him. And it's looking like they're having like these slick issues with him until they decide to finally just let him go. And it's happening gradually instead of all at once. And that's something that I do kind of appreciate the slow build of it. Um, even though it's kind of irritating for some people because like, why can't he just No, like let's watch the slow build of it because there's a story being told here in the sense that Sammy is probably gonna snap and wonder what else is it gonna take for him to be fully accepted into this family. Like, how come I'm not good enough? Which is all of the telltale signs of a person possibly, trying to connect with someone who might suffer from narcissistic personality disorder
Mm-hmm.
in the case of Roman. But yeah, it's real interesting and it's really good. It's good meaty stuff here. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we do get to a ending result with this whole Sami Zayn and the whole bloodline situation that's going on. But I mean, I feel like tonight the story really and truly is it's just getting started. No lie. We'll
Mhm.
definitely talk about it once we get towards the main event of tonight. So here we had a match here with Sheamus and Solo Sequoia. It was a really good match. It was a good match. Of course, the Brawling Brutes was out there and everything. JD said Sammy just wants to be acknowledged. He does. I mean, I thought maybe they did when they gave him the whole honorary Oos celebration and things like that, but maybe it's a little bit more uh, than we really see here. So, but yeah, so more bloodline members. Like I said, Solo faced Sheamus tonight, and the bloodline was out there. The Usos were out there on the side of Solo, as well as Pete, / Butch, and Ridge Holland was out here with Sheamus as well. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this match between these two, despite all of the interference and things like that. And even though Solo did pick up the win, and the Usos took out Ridge and Pete / Butch, and then Drew McIntyre comes out and saves today. And honestly, it seems as if like Drew, Drew and Sheamus are gunning for those tag titles because they did announce that there will be actually an opportunity for Sheamus and Drew to actually face the Usos when they were supposed to face them the first time, but Drew had got injured. So, well, he got sick, I think. One of the two. He wasn't. They weren't able to actually have that match. So they had to switch some people. Had to switch things out around. So finally, we're getting Drew and Sheamus versus the Usos for their tag titles. What did you think about Solo and Sheamus match? Stephanie?
Yeah, that match was very physical and I loved it. That's the type of matches I love to see Solo and Sheamus in. Like I almost wonder, even though the odds were, kind of even up with with the Brawling Brutes out there being out there on behalf of Sheamus and then with the bloodline, of course, being there with Solo. I wonder, how the match really could have gone if Solo was able to really just be there and stand his own ground. But either way, the match was really good and very physical on both ends. Um, I was really hoping that maybe Sheamus was going to win, but of course, bloodline stuff. all the time. They gotta win everything. Gotta cheat, gotta do all the stuff. So yeah, Solo wound up winning, but at the same time, it was still really good. I love this match. And then when Drew came out, I was excited because I hadn't really seen him in a minute. And then when he came out and started beating up on everybody, on behalf of Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes, that was really cool. And then on top of that, I really loved how he took off his shirt and you saw him in jeans. And I just feel like that's a very attractive point that people don't talk about with Drew McIntyre enough. They don't talk about how attractive he looks when he's in his jeans. Nobody talks about it enough for me. And people should. Like when he's shirtless and just in his jeans, that man is a man's man. Okay? His wife is blessed. But either way, I do think it is kind of weird though that they get the challenge for the tag titles, kind of just out of nowhere like that, because I don't know. It's just a little
nowhere. It was
it's
not
weird.
really nowhere because they were supposed to have this match like 2 weeks, like I think like last month. They were supposed to have this tag match for the titles. It was supposed to have been Drew and Sheamus versus the Usos, but something happened.
Oh, okay, right. I forgot.
Which
Yeah.
Drew out and they put Pete in. So it was Pete and Sheamus versus the Usos. And well, we're basically running this back, but with Drew, the original tag partner that was supposed to be with Sheamus. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. So much has happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, so much has happened this year. It really has. And with happenings in 2022, you can't get past it. JD Stephanie, his wife is. I mean, hey.
I mean, she is. Shout out to Drew's wife, respectfully. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, gorgeous. He's gorgeous. He's a gorgeous man.
He's like Aquaman. All right. So let's really get to a part of why we're here. Of
Lord
course,
Jesus.
you know that this is Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. And of course, it wouldn't be us if we didn't talk about the women. And I want to say that, hold on, before we get to this part yet, we gotta wait a second. Okay, so we have Ronda Rousey and Raquel Rodriguez for the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. They had a lengthy match. I thought maybe this would have been over real quick. I really did. I really did.
Me
but
too.
Despite Shayna being like an interference and things like that, I mean, Ronda still retained her title. And well, as she thought that maybe she completed like beating everybody on the roster, there is still one woman that she has not been able to beat. And that is a returning Charlotte freaking Flair. And alone we have the returning Nickie Booshie jumping in on our SmackDown.
Yes, God.
Did I hear somebody say Charlotte Flair?
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair since May?
And here's the thing, though, because even though Charlotte did return, she has new gear.
Wow.
She has new theme music. And she also has the SmackDown Women's Champion once again. Your 14-time Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. She beat Ronda the same way Liv rolled her ass up at SummerSlam, which we thought, I mean, hey, Charlotte came in, as soon as that bell rung, she big booted the hell out of Ronda Rousey, and I thought that was it. I thought it was going to be the same ending that happened at WrestleMania. But unfortunately, Doe was like, nah, we're not going to let it happen that way. Let's give her the same thing that Liv Morgan gave her ass at SummerSlam. The goddamn armbar to a roll-up.
Well, first I want to say thank you guys for letting me come on. I'm going to be really quick because I am at work.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Stephanie and Santana for holding it down for 52 consecutive weeks here at SmackDown AEW Rampage post-show, of course. I just want to say, stay mad. 14 times. 14 times. This woman has held 7 times the SmackDown Women's Championship now, 6 times for the Raw Women's Championship, a 1-time Divas Champion who she retired the division, and a 2-time NXT Women's Champion, a 16-time Women's World Champion, a 1-time tag. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The best record for any woman at WrestleMania. First ever Hell in a Cell match winner. I can go on for days. All I'm going to say, it's technically 14 because the one Divas Championship does count. I just want to point that out. So it's 14. Thank you, Charlotte Flair. Thank you, Ashley Fleer, for coming and saving us in this. It's been a rough one. It definitely has been a rough one. And I know a lot of people are upset, but this is for the better. And I want people, I really, and I mean this when I say this, please clip this. Everyone who was so pissed for 5 years on how Charlotte was booked, on how Charlotte kept winning. You know why? Because they needed her. You know why? The SmackDown Women's Championship needed her like now. WWE needs Charlotte Flair. And for everyone who was so pissed off and so mad about how overpushed this woman was, I hope that this 14 reign teaches people a lesson. And that lesson is she is one of the greatest of all time. She will go down in history. She could hit Hall of Fame right now. And honestly, hear me out. 2023 and new tag team champions for the women, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, making Charlotte Flair a 2-time Grand Slam champion in 2023. Yes, please come to the front. Of course, I am the biggest Charlotte Flair mark you will ever meet on the God's green earth. I love Charlotte. I got a chance to meet her along with Santana this past WrestleMania. So this means more than anything to me, but I'm not going to crowd you guys. Stay blessed. Happy New Year. It's the last SmackDown show of the year. Of course, Nickie Booshie had to come in and just wreck everything. Thank you again, Stephanie and Santana, for letting me come in.
Of course.
And I'll be in the comments. But yeah, Charlotte Flair, you guys, your new WWE Women's SmackDown champion, 14-time champion, you guys. Woo! Woo!
All right. 4's up, y'all.
Well, we thank Nickie for hopping in with us and everything like that. I mean, what can you say? I mean, but it's true though. There are so many people that have bashed Charlotte, have been mad at the fact that she has been champion multiple occasions, have beaten their faves on multiple occasions, multiple times, flip-flop, this and that. And you look at the crowd now, and everybody was very happy. They were cheering. Maybe people were crying. She was in the crowd, hugging babies, all types of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you don't really, it's just, you have to respect, the work that she has put in. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that away from her, regardless of booking. She went out there and did her part because they trusted her. You know what I'm saying? They knew that putting her in this position, she was going to go out there and do what she needed to do. Simple as that. And not too many people are placed in that position to be very trusted by a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Charlotte coming in, taking that SmackDown Women's Champion from Ronda Rousey, who a lot of y'all hope to say, Charlotte, come save the division. Please come save SmackDown's division. Well, she's back. She leaves the end of the year as champion. It's like full circle all over again. She goes into a new year as champion. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next or what's going to transpire, but I'm pretty sure when next week comes, the first week of SmackDown that will take place in Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, it's going to be a lot. It really is. But Stephanie, Charlotte returning, Ronda and Raquel's match, this whole thing here. What did you think?
Well, let me start. I'm so happy Nikki was able to come on because it's just like when that happened, I thought about her and I was like, man, okay. But I'm just so happy she was able to come on because she really said it all for Charlotte. But let me start with the match first. I felt like the match proved that Raquel was really able to carry herself even though she had a little bit of an injury and a little bit of a tiff with her arm. She was still able to fight through it and still, prove that she really did want to take it away from Ronda. And it felt like for every moment that Ronda tried to tie her up in a submission or anything like that, she was always powering out. And then it was a great showcase of Raquel's power in this match. Like she lifted her like and swung her around and slammed her on the apron. She lifted her like on like the top rope, which ultimately led to her tapping out, but still it was amazing, right? So it's just kind of like, man, like Raquel really had nothing to be ashamed of in her entire performance. There was even this one impressive part where Ronda tried to roll her into a submission, but then she rolled and then Raquel like rolled backwards or rolled forward out of it and then lifted her up. I was like, girl, come through. Like Raquel really did do a good job. And so she really has nothing to be ashamed of in this. I was a little bit bummed when she tapped out, but that's just how it happened. But then Shayna, of course, was up to her, little shenanigans, Shayna shenanigans. But, it was just kind of like either way, the match was still relatively good. But Ronda thought she was just gonna go home scot-free and just celebrate and be like, yeah, I'm still the champion, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you this. When it was Charlotte that was coming out, I was kind of confused at first. But then when I heard the notes of the song, I was like, oh. And then I saw everybody going up in the crowd. I was like, oh. But then they put the camera on the Titantron. And I was like, oh. It's Charlotte. Like I lost it. And then it was so funny because her song didn't sound like, the regular song. And I hope they put that song up on, social so I can listen to it.
I think they already got it on YouTube as of right now.
Okay.
I think they have it already out so people can go listen to it, see what it actually sounds like, outside of the crowd and everything like that. Y'all put that song up there quicker than y'all did Bray Wyatt. So what's the issue?
I don't know, but either way, I thought it was cool. And then when she came out, it was almost like she came out just renewed and refreshed. She didn't look like the same Charlotte Flair we had left behind at Backlash. She looked like Charlotte Flair 2.0, 3.0. She came out there with the new gear, one sleeve, no sleeve, like with all the tie up, and with the shorts and everything. I was like, girl, come on, come through. And she had all that hair. I was like, new hair, new gear, new everything. Girl, she came through and she was ready to fight. And I was so happy because I was just like, Charlotte, okay, you here to shake up the table? Shake it up then. And Ronda was like, fine, I'll do it. But then Shayna was like, no, don't do it. But then Ronda was like, nah, I'm the baddest woman on the planet. We finna do this now. And girl, it didn't work. When it looked like it was about to work and she was about to like lock her up or whatever, it didn't work out that way. And Charlotte rolled her up and pinned her. And I was so surprised. Like, I was really surprised. And then when she won and got that title and went into the crowd too, I was like, Charlotte, you're going into the crowd now. You're a woman of the people now. We love you. Yes, yes, yes. I was just really excited, okay? Like, as much as as much as a lot of fans talk about how they feel like it shouldn't be, all about her all the time. It's just that it's like you and Nikki said, she's trusted, she's a person that is going to carry it not only with pride, but also, be the workhorse that you need her to be. She's a thoroughbred. Okay. So Charlotte, I was really happy to see her. It was really refreshing to see her. And she just looked amazing. She looked like an icon. She looked like a star. Like it was just amazing. So kudos and shout out to Charlotte Flair. We're here in 4 horsewoman supremacy to a degree, but yeah, it's insane, and this is definitely a great way to start 2023 with women's wrestling. Charlotte, is back.
It
I
is.
can't wait. I just can't wait to listen to podcast episodes about it. Like Charlotte, come on, girl. I
One thing
love
I
it.
will say is that I did not see anyone ruin this. Because a lot of
Right.
times when it comes to returns, people like to ruin things for people and stuff like that because they want to be first, because they want to be in the know, you know. And
Right.
I'm glad that nobody ruined this for a lot of people.
Right. And then somebody said on Twitter that Andrade sort of, well, her husband, of course, took like the scent off of it because he
Mhm.
posted a picture of the both of them in another country
Yeah, they did.
and
They
when they
both posted a
traveled somewhere.
photo.
And
They
I
both
didn't
posted
see
a
that
photo.
until,
Yeah, they both
and
posted
I
a
was
photo.
like, okay.
It was a very, very nice swerve. And I mean, child, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? See some of you guys in the comments who was popping in. Hey, Chad. Hi, Black Fist 86. Hi, Troy, one of our writers here at Women's Wrestling Talk, hanging out with us. And of course,
Hey.
JD being JD. Being JD, it wouldn't be him if it did. But yeah, I'm glad that none of this was ruined for any of us at all. So people were able to actually be happy at the fact that, you know, she is back. What I'm also happy about is how everybody was jumping on top dollars, situation that happened 2 weeks ago, with the dive and all this and that. And I mean, like, having the New Day be there is amazing. I don't know what they are wearing right now, but I'm flabbergasted. But everybody came in and everybody just came in and just started cracking jokes on Top Dollar and everything like that. He was laughing at everybody. But when it came to Ricochet, he got really upset. You know, he wasn't really, ha he with Ricochet. But everybody else that came in and cracked jokes, he was laughing. You know, so he was all right. But when Ricochet came in, it was like, you want to be funny. So I mean, and now we're gonna be having a match between Ricochet and Top Dollars.
But not only that, you have in this match they have to qualify for the Royal Rumble too.
Mm-hmm. Oh Lord. Do I want to see Top Dollar in the Royal Rumble? Not really. What is Ashanti Diadona's wearing? This and Lord. I can't wait. I can't wait to put this on our new category. I wonder if this can make the cuts for some of our Turnbuckle Glam stuff. I will say, because Lord, everyone crazy. Joseph said Kofi into the Royal Rumble, yet Ricochet and Top Dollar have to qualify for the Rumble. How crazy is that? Well, they always try to do something real interesting for Royal Rumble qualifications and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I guess. I know they used to do those like last qualified spots for the Royal Rumble. Like they do like a Battle Royal or something, or like a Fatal 4-Way match or something like that, and everything. But
here's my opinion on that. Number one, I feel like Kofi Kingston has done enough to make the Royal Rumble something to look forward to in the past 10 years. So he doesn't have to necessarily qualify for it if he doesn't want to. If he wants to say he wants to participate in it, then I feel like he has the right to, because he's an icon at this point. He's a Grand Slam champion. He's participated in the Royal Rumble multiple times and had really great moments. So you know what? I can deal with that from Kofi. And I also want to say shout out to the New Day for pulling double duty on Tuesday nights and Friday nights, because they're the NXT Tag Team Champions and they're also back on SmackDown too. And it's just like, sirs, do y'all get to sleep?
They don't really have nothing to do. You might as well just let them chit chat and crack jokes over here and defend those titles on NXT, which I don't mind doing. It was cool.
Yeah. And also shout out to Xavier for having on a highlight of the night Ricochet t-shirt while all of this madness with Ricochet is going on.
Like he spoke of the devil or something.
Right. And the thing about Top Dollar is it felt like everybody, was making fun of him and being hee ha ha and stuff. But then it's just like when Ricochet, who can actually fly and stick a landing, perfectly said something to him. He took it very personally, like Michael Jordan. Like Public Enemy's podcast said that Top Dollar took it like Lance did when Quentin was trying to tell him the truth on the Best Man movie. If you know, you know.
Yeah,
So
you know.
so a part of me was just like, okay, Top Dollar, are you finna be like a heel now? Are you being mean now? Or are you just trying to show that you have a little bit of an edge to you? Because if so, that would be a little bit interesting. And you know, Ashanti the Adonis gonna have his boys back because, of course, they're in the same faction. So I just wonder exactly how this is gonna go in terms of, you know, character work. Are they gonna be like mean or nah? But we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's true. Something I really am not trying to wait and see, and that is Braun Strowman versus Gunther. Like, I can tell you right now, I don't care about any of this. And I like Gunther. I do. But because Braun Strowman is here, it makes me not even care about anything, to be honest. I just hope that when they do have this match for this title, that Gunther does win. But if they're talking about trying to plan something between Gunther and Brock Lesnar, I really want to see. I don't know. I don't care for Braun Strowman. He's not someone that I cared about who returned in the first place. So him just being here is just a waste of space, in my opinion. To be honest, but I don't know. What do you think, Stephanie?
I think that the idea of Gunther, who's been so dominant, being kind of afraid and cowardly when it comes to Braun Strowman is kind of counterproductive to me. Because it's like, I think the reason why it's counterproductive to me is because I know who Gunther used to be in terms of NXT, because of course now we live in a world where they acknowledge all three brands. And it's just like, since this is the man who was NXT UK champion for umpteen years, um shout out to my grandma, umpteen years, and he was destroying everybody, smacking everybody's chest in, you know, just destroyed Ricochet a couple weeks ago for that IC title and everything. Why are you afraid of this one dude who's basically only taller than you, like by a couple of inches? Like, why are you afraid of him? Why don't you slap his chest in and not, you know, be cowardly about it? Like, why is him yelling at you and, you know, and calling you all this other stuff, you know, and calling you a boy and all this other stuff, making you guys want to run and head for the hills? Like, no, like, big up and actually be the ring general we know you to be. Like, if you talk a big game and say you're the ring general, then be that. Be that regardless to how big these men are. And if Braun Strowman wants to fight you man to man or monster to man, as he said, then you need to actually pull up and be the ring general that we know you to be and not be this cowardly version. Like, you know, boss up.
What Beyonce say? Be about it. Be about that action.
Exactly.
And go do it.
Show us that you're that girl.
Period. Well, guys, well, show us you are those guys.
Y'all know.
Okay. So before we really dive into our main event, because I'm gonna just let y'all know
This show went by really fast.
Huh?
This show went by really fast for me. I don't know
really
why.
did. We only had 3 matches, sort of. Yeah, 3 matches, and everything else was a bunch of segments. But let's go ahead and dive into this right quick before we dive into the main event, because y'all just understand. Yeah. Okay, so of course next week, first SmackDown of the year, the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships will be on the line. The Usos will put their titles up against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Really interested in seeing what's going to take place. I mean, who knows what can happen, but this match is taking place next week. Also, like I said, with this one here, technically this one is 2 weeks away. So the Intercontinental Championship will be between Gunther and Braun Strowman, happening 2 weeks away. So yeah, guys, that's that on that. And also, I do remember that I could have sworn I saved this, but I guess I did not. Where they did announce that the they had announced that Pitch Black match that's supposed to be happening with Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt and LA Knight, that is taking place at the Royal Rumble. They did announce it, so be on the lookout for that, guys. not Usos again. Drop those titles, please. They might. Who knows? I don't know. Could it be? Could it be? I don't know. But that's really.
I don't know.
No, I do know that before we get to our main event, there was Sami finally did get inside of the Bloodlines room and everything. I can't tell you what was being said because I was grabbing photos, so I can't. I was listening to them. I heard Sami say something. Roman clapped and laughed, and then went from there. So I can't even tell you what they said.
Me neither.
But what I can tell you is that we are here at our main event of SmackDown, the last show of the year. Kevin Owens and John Cena, the GOAT, your 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena, versus y'all Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, the Undisputed WWE Champion or whatever. And then on the Rebel Uso, feeling Uzi, all that stuff with Sami Zayn. And this was your main event, guys. And they didn't really have that much time. They went to a whole commercial break. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? But I just, there comes a time in life where if you've watched this show with me and Stephanie multiple times, you would know how much Roman losing, being a part of the losing team, makes me feel. Knowing that Roman was on the losing team tonight made me feel like I accomplished so much this year. Even though, he didn't take the pin,
Girl,
but still, I feel like I've accomplished so much. He lost, man. I get it. I know you're talking about, you feel like it was ratings. All he did was 5 moves, yada yada yada. Roman do 5 moves in his matches, but don't nobody say nothing. So I don't want to hear none of that. Either way it go, point blank, period. John Cena and Kevin Owens won tonight, and that's all that matters. But Kevin Owens got a little eye situation going on though, and I hope that he's okay. Because his eye was bleeding and all that stuff, and I really hope KO is okay. Because it looks really, really bad. So I don't know. Yeah, but here's the thing though. I get it. He wasn't peeing. That's cool. Either way, it doesn't matter. He was on the losing team. Whether I don't care if he got pinned. He was on the losing team. He still lost. He hasn't been pinned, but he lost. That's all that matters to me. But it was a great way to end out your year and everything. I know Cena's kind of balding in the back, but nothing little. What's up? Little spray that y'all put on y'all beards to fill in can cover up and everything like that. But Stephanie, this match here, even though it wasn't that long, but it does have storytelling because Sami lost the match for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bloodline and Roman are not going to be too happy about having him lose on the last day of the year, the final show of the year, to 2 people he's beaten before, John Cena and KO.
Mm-hmm.
As a fellow Tribal Chief, fan and Bloodline, I know you said you weren't, mad about the ending, but Sami and Roman, does this spark something, between Sami and the Bloodline because of this loss?
Yes, it does. Because it does. Because ultimately, I feel like once he took that pin, and even though Sami was trying to check on Roman afterward, the energy is still there. Like Sami is gonna be in trouble, because he took that pin and because he couldn't get the job done. And also, I would also like to say that Kevin was bleeding out of his eye, and then towards the beginning of the match, like maybe the first 5 to 7 minutes of the match, Sami was bleeding out of his nose too. So they were both bleeding. And it was just like, okay, what's going on after that point? But either way, I mean, this match was what it was supposed to be, but it was still pretty cool for the most part. It was always good to see. Seeing John Cena tonight felt like a hug.
Yeah.
And let me just say this: before I love the Bloodline and before I love Roman Reigns, I love John Cena first. So I have to be true to that part of my soul. And seeing John Cena go on camera and talk to the guy on camera who's holding the camera all the time and always saying that stuff and saying thank you to the fans and thank you to us to helping, create his career over the past 20 years just felt really good. And it felt like a hug. And I was just like, I love you too, John. And thank you for following me on Twitter. It was awesome. That was one of the best parts of my 2022, guys. Like, seriously. But yeah, it was really great, and I was glad that him and Kevin Owens won the match, and Kevin Owens was able to get some revenge. But yeah, Sammy is gonna be in a little bit of trouble. He's gonna be in a little bit of trouble with Roman because Roman's not gonna like the tribal chief wants to be dominant in all things, and I just know he's not gonna like the idea of losing to John Cena, who's never really there, and Kevin Owens, who isn't even on really the same show as them. So it's gonna be a problem.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
and that's all I have to say.
It really is. I just, it sucks. Well, who am I kidding? It doesn't suck for me. I don't care. Like I said, when they lost, I popped. I was happy. I was very happy for it. But you know what? I mean, it is what it is. This SmackDown was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was one of the better shows that they had. Because they, SmackDown been a little every other week, but this week was cool. Who cares? They use John Cena for ratings. It made Rampage look like why the hell we watched it. Okay, so to be honest, I mean it is what it is, but that was the end of SmackDown, you guys. With that, we do, of course, we do Rampage here as well. But that was in the SmackDown. SmackDown's really cool. I hope everybody had a great time. I hope all your Tribal Chief fans go get to sleep well tonight, knowing that man lost. Ta-da. We move over to Rampage, and this is Stephanie's turf, and I shut up a little bit.
Well, it's so funny you said AEW is my turf. All wrestling is my turf.
Well, here on this show, you handle all of AEW for Rampage wise.
Yes, Rampage wise. It's like the other girls, they handle the Dynamite part, and I handle the Rampage part.
Right.
But it's okay because this was very interesting to me, considering Orange Cassidy and Trent Barretta are best friends, right? They're the best friends. So a part of me was like, bro, why are they fighting? I was like, why are they fighting each other? But it started off, pretty okay. They seemed like they were a little bit hesitant to really like get to fighting. But in the end, of course, they did start fighting a little bit more. And then there was a couple of points where they were jumping and they sort of hugged each other. And something funny that I love the commentary does every time the best friends hug each other, they love to say, you got to give the people what they want. Right. It's funny to me because I'm just like, wow, like y'all really like do this every time they hug. But I just think it's a really funny little thing because I'm just corny like that. But either way, there was hugs going around. There was a weird point where Danhausen was trying to do like the Orange Cassidy kicks. And then another one of the best friends was trying to stop him from doing that. And then there were a couple of points where Trent Barretta actually threw Orange Cassidy into the barricade, but then Orange Cassidy moved out the way when Trent was trying to run into it, and then he swung him into the barricade and actually kicked him some more, and actually did a drop kick onto him into the barricade with his hands in his pocket. it just continues to impress me. But yeah, Kip Sabian was also on commentary along with the guys as well. And he was talking about, how him and Orange Cassidy's continuous beef going on. But it was still a pretty good match out of that. But then there was another point where Penelope Ford, of course, who is tied to Kip Sabian, in fact, they're married, walked down to the ring to try to distract Trent Beretta, so Orange Cassidy could get the win. But Orange Cassidy didn't really have anything to do with her action, so he basically took advantage of it, and hit both of his orange punches for the win, and he retained the All Atlantic Championship. So yeah, that's pretty much how that match ended. Orange Cassidy is still the All Atlantic champion. And as far as I know, the best friends aren't angry at each other over that, but of course you do have to wait and see because you just never know. Friendships be falling apart in wrestling. I feel like that's a common theme. It's almost like you go from SmackDown where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are beefing, as former best friends, but then you go to this show and you got these best friends fighting too. Like, Lord Jesus, friendships just can't ever last. But that's pretty much how it ended. So Santana, how did you feel about this match?
It was really cool. I mean, it's not. It's always nice when you can see when you can wrestle your friends, and because you do end up having a lot of chemistry. It was really cool. It was all right. You know what I'm saying? The whole Kip Sabian and Orange Cassidy thing is slowly building up. With Penelope Ford, of course, being somewhat of a distraction, or what she thought was going to be a distraction. But I mean, hey, Kip is very funny to me. He has like a animated look to him, to be honest.
He does.
He looks like he belongs in like Don't Mess with the Zohan type thing, or Zoolander type situation, or anything that
Or
has
Beetlejuice.
very Beetlejuice. Very much so. Or honestly, he could be like in any Adam Sandler movie, I will say. Ha! I mean, listen, they're more going for more of that All American rejects type look. Then hey, go for it. He does wear more makeup than Penelope. He belongs in the emo band. That makes all the sense in the world anyway. But it was cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know what's gonna happen with Kip and Orange, but well, technically we do. We'll definitely get towards the end because I do know what's gonna happen with those guys actually.
Yeah, and I do also want to mention that before Rampage came on, I mean, also SmackDown made reference to this on commentary though. They did AEW did have a tribute card to Don West, who was a famous commentator in the world of professional wrestling, most definitely with but mostly with Impact Wrestling, who sadly passed away today. And they did pay tribute to him on commentary on SmackDown and then with memorial card on AEW tonight. So we do want to send special love, thoughts, good vibes, and prayers to his family. And we also want to remember all of his accolades and contributions to the world of professional wrestling. And we also want to send the same condolences to Barbara Walters' family as well, because she did just pass away. And that news broke during Rampage as well.
Yeah.
And that was kind of hard to hear, even though she was in her 90s, but it's still hard because she's basically opened the door for a lot of women in broadcast journalism, for years. And she was the creator of The View. So there was a lot that these two people did for broadcast journalism on two different ends. So we do want to send our thoughts, prayers, and condolences to these two people, two people's families, because I know losing somebody is always hard, but losing them during the holiday season has to be even rougher. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But moving forward, just to move forward with the rest of the show, I know that's a downer, but we just got to be real about life sometimes. To move forward, there was a segment backstage with Tony Schiavone, and he interviewed, gosh, Darby Allin. I don't know why my brain is blanking. He interviewed Darby Allin and Sting. And Darby Allin, of course, is set to take on, that's a beautiful comment, JD. They really are, oh my God, our legends, Lord. Yeah, this is very sad. Let me take
I
a
mean, they
deep
just
breath.
chit chat a lot because Darby Allin, he kind of wants
Yeah.
to be a little bit on his own, and Sting, who has been by his side for the longest, has just kind of like, trying to understand, like, what, like, you trying to break up, like, you trying to go your separate ways and things like that, and Darby just
Mhm.
kind of like holding the motive, like, he just not trying to hear it. He's not, like, he's really not
I'm
trying to hear
upset
it.
because I don't. This upset me because Darby was talking a lot about, how, he got challenged for this match in his hometown of Seattle, Washington. And also shout out to my auntie and her sons. They live in Seattle too. But it's just like he was just wondering, how everybody, would think of him because he was talking about how his dad didn't think that he would ever become a professional wrestler, and other people, who was surrounding him at school didn't think he would be a professional wrestler because he was 150 pounds and stuff like that.
Mhm.
um and he was really talking about, this motif of what other people might think of him. And he decided to get Buck at Sting. And I was just like, why are you getting Buck at him? He's been nothing but loyal to you this entire time. Like, I may not consistently watch AW a whole lot, but I do know that much, that Sting has really been, by your side throughout his entire tenure at AEW. And you gonna push him and diss him like that? You can't do that to him. And Sting didn't take that kind into that either. So Sting was just like, look, you can't be worried about what everybody else is thinking. Like, you can't worry about what your dad thinks, your hometown thinks, or anybody you went to school with thinks, or even what I think. It's a matter of what you think. And if you think that you can take on Samoa Joe for the TNT title that you once held, then you go ahead and you do that. That's not how he said it, but that's paraphrasing, okay? So yeah, Sting basically gave him a pep talk, but then Darby Allin just kind of just strutted away a little bit. So I'm assuming that he sort of embraced that advice that he gave him, but it was still given like Darby Allin was really about to like be mad at Sting, and I'm just like, what you mad at him for? He's just trying to encourage you and make you feel like you somebody. But you know what? We'll see how that goes.
Child, I mean, I hope it goes really well. I mean, it'd be kind of weird not seeing if Darby chooses to feel like he may want to turn on Sting. Let's just say if he does get to the point where him and Samoa Joe do have this match and he doesn't win. I mean, he could take his anger and frustration out on Sting because he's upset at the fact that he lost.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully not. Hmm.
Yeah. And so speaking about Kip Sabian, like we were earlier, he had a match against I forgot his name, but they didn't even give him like the announcement like they usually do for people who are in the ring, like who are from the indies that are in the ring with, their more established stars. So I felt like that was low key disrespectful. Um and they said his name on commentary, but my thing is, why didn't y'all show his name? I was just like, that was weird.
Yeah.
But really, Kip Sabian really kind of made quick work of this guy and beat him up, and then he was out there. But then the thing was, he was posing, and he actually put on I believe one of the armbands that Orange Cassidy likes to wear, and he did, like his finisher in order to win the match. And I was just like, Kip Sabian really trying to start some mess, like start further mess with Orange Cassidy. And of course, Penelope Ford was standing by his side looking like a snack or whatever. So that's what they're gonna do, and they're starting to mess with him. So Santana, what did you think about this short little blurb involving Kip?
Child, honestly, they could have just kept that. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're trying to like prove here or anything like that. Like what exactly is it gonna do? But I mean, I don't know. I was trying to see if I can find the guy that he faced or whatever. I thought maybe somebody would have shared it or something. Okay, so it looks like his name is Atapa. He's like
Uh,
the Rocky Mountain Dragon great wrestler and all that stuff there. Looks
oh
like
wow.
he's like from Denver, Colorado. So like that's who he was. I can't necessarily pronounce his name, but yeah, yeah, that's who he was wrestling and everything like that. But child, I don't know. I can just tell you right now, after SmackDown, Rampage did nothing for me. I was only probably just here for Jade and Kiera, and that was about it. Not gonna lie to you, to be honest. So
Yeah. So then after that, we heard from John Moxley, who of course, told Tony Schiavone that of course they had been through a lot, years, and because they had been through a lot, you have to notice that him and Hangman Adam Page have both been sort of, running around each other, in terms of like running around each other in circles, going on different paths to their different successes or whatnot. But basically he said that he basically challenged him to a match, I believe, either next week or in 2 weeks or whatever. But basically he challenged him to a match and said that, look, you need to go to your doctors, get clearance from whoever you need to get clearance from, because by the time January rolls around, it's time to fight. And that was basically the that's basically what he said. So yeah.
I think somewhere down the line we will be, like I said, we will. I mean, he can go to the doctors all day. This match is going to end in blood. Let's be honest. It wouldn't be John Moxley if there wasn't a blood sucking thing going on here, to be honest. And I mean, when is man gonna get a vacation? That's just my thing. I feel like, dang, he's.
I said the same thing.
I took the title off him to say that, oh, he's gonna have vacation. He's gonna have a vacation. I have seen nothing. I'm always seeing John Moxley on my screen. If he's not in the ring, he's talking, doing a promo, interview, things like that. So let that man go home and rest, go to bed, something like that. I don't know. But
yeah, I said the same thing when I saw him out there. I was just like, you know what? You've been consistently on these shows over the past couple of months since you were champion after everything happened with the media scrum, and then afterward. Like, John Moxley deserves a vacation on top of a vacation. He deserves 3 months off, 4 months off, because he's just been going through it.
Let the man take 9 months off and come back.
Right. Like,
but I doubt it, because he gonna be wrestling somewhere else in a different promotion. So
right. I just feel like he needs rest.
He does.
John Moxley, get some rest, please. So moving forward, we did have this match that a lot of people were definitely looking forward to, including myself. Between Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan for the TBS Championship. Now, I did see some clips from when Kiera Hogan faced off against Athena for the ROH Women's Championship, and she did a phenomenal job. And I was just like, look, why can't you have the opportunity to wrestle this well on AEW television proper, okay? Because the way you are throwing down with Athena is really awesome. Like, Kiera Hogan is really good, once she's given the time to really show what she can do. And I feel like AEW has done an absolute disservice to her and her talent.
Yeah, I wish she can go back to Impact. No lie, she thrived so well over there. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe there's a door cracked still open for Kiera Hogan, because since she's been over here, she really hasn't done much in my eyes that she could have done. To be honest, she really could have been utilized in a very different way. I mean, her debut match, she loses to Jade Cargill. You know what I'm saying? Full circle, she becomes to be a part of the baddies. And now we're back at here, right here again. And we can't downplay Kiera Hogan as a wrestler, because she's extremely talented. She has the in-ring ability. She really does. But I don't know. Yep, Jade did place number 3 on our top 25 women wrestlers of 2022 list. Y'all will find out who made it to number 1 tomorrow. We have 2 through 25 posted already. So you'll find out who made it to the number 1 spot. Could be obvious. It could be obvious, or it could not. But yeah, I don't know.
I think I know. I know. But either way, I'm trying to like go through all of them and read them, because I love the graphics and everything for the list. You guys did a good job. But yeah. Honestly, I just want to go on record and just say that for Kiera Hogan, like, I've seen her in action. She's amazing. She deserves more. Okay. And I don't care if y'all gotta if she has to possibly leave there and just go to NXT and Like, be the new leader of Toxic. I don't care.
NXT would be kind of nice.
It would be fire, okay?
Okay. It would be
It would
nice.
be absolutely fire. It like I don't care. Like, it would just be amazing, okay? But and I hated that this match actually even got put like on commercial in picture because I was just like, bro, like I really want to pay attention to this. But either way, Kiera Hogan wound up doing like a whole lot in this match that was impressive, like when she hit Jade Cargill with a kick, and a couple of moments where she like it was just a lot of moments where Kiera, was pretty impressive for the most part, but there wasn't that much she could do considering the baddies were out there. But then even the baddies weren't even on the same page. In fact, they were on a whole different chapter of Jade's book because Red Velvet, of course, has issues with Jade Cargill, which I believe may possibly stem from the fact that she did Kiera Hogan wrong, or just from the fact that she's just tired of living in her shadow. Either way, Red Velvet is having some issues with Jade Cargill. And Layla Gray is just kind of looking like, girl, what's up? What are you doing? Like, we need to be on the same page. But even with them not on the same page, Jade was still able to take advantage and kick Kiera Hogan and then hit her with the Jaded move and win the match, which means Jade is still now undefeated and still the TBS champion. And and that was pretty much it for that match. Here again, I wish it wasn't picture in picture, but that's how it went. The chiseled chocolate one wins again. So Santana, how did you feel about this?
Well, like I said, I was hoping that it would have. There's no way that Jade Cargill would lose her title on a taped show. Let's start there. I mean, it's coming up over a year where she's held this title since basically February. She won it in February. She's still the first one to hold this title, and she's been conquering all of her wins. Before she had won that title, she made it to 50 wins. It seems to be very possible that once Jade hits 50, she's not making it to 51. She's not. Whoever Jade's final opponent would be with her holding this title is going to be somebody who's bigger than Jade. Or someone, it has to be someone who's either bigger than Jade or can live up to what Jade has done with that title. I mean, it's been defended more than any of the other titles on the show. Let's be honest. She's always, whether her opponents have not been the best, whether she is considered to still be green in the ring, she's brought a lot of attention to AEW. The whole situation with Bow Wow, her being on appearance of different shows, different things like that. Like she's it's only 2 years for her, and she's done a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know people like, say, oh, is she still green in the ring and all this and that? But if you take away all the greenness in the ring, you do see someone who has star power. She does have the potential to be, a top star and considered to be a top star in AEW because she's always on your TV screen, whether she's cutting a promo or she's in a match or whatever. Well, she's already said it before. You flipping through your TV and you see a fine ass bitch like me on your screen, you're going to want to know who I am. And a lot of people in this world who probably don't even watch wrestling know who the hell Jade Cargill is. So, I mean, I don't know. I hate the fact that Kiera did lose, but I was not expecting her to win. I feel as if, like, with Red Velvet has been someone who's had issues with Jade Cargill in the past on multiple occasions. And Red Velvet has lost to Jade, and she aligned herself with being a part of the baddies. And it's just a matter of time where the baddies start to trickle down, and the only person that's going to be there is Layla Gray until Jade gets tired of Layla Gray, or Jade go find her some new baddies and move on, or maybe this will be a point where Jade doesn't have nobody but herself, because Jade's never really not been by herself. She's always had smarts in her corner. And she's always had a baddies in her corner. Jade's never really necessarily been by herself like that. To be honest, she really hasn't. But I don't know. I have no idea.
My thing is, I would just prefer if Red Velvet just stopped being passive aggressive and just tell her what's wrong.
She could.
I don't know if that's just the grown person in me that's just like, girl, if you really got this much problems with her, why don't you just tell her on television or tell her on the microphone or tell her backstage what's wrong? Like, talk about it. Like, at this point, I just want to know what the issue is. And if this is gonna go somewhere, like, tell her. Like, say something.
I think she might end up saying something. Like, she could say something Wednesday. She really could. I mean, it's a lot to think about and a lot to build up upon with these women. And who knows? Red Velvet may beat Jade for the damn title. Who the fuck?
Oh, Lord.
Who knows what can happen?
That would be. Well, Santana, I do have a question for you though, and this is one that kind of crosses different brands. I got, it's so funny that Jay was on this show and then Charlotte was on the other show because they had a little bit of an interaction on Twitter, saying, and Jade said that she would love to face Charlotte, at some point, and Charlotte kind of, saw it and kind of acknowledged it or whatever. But who do you think would win a match between Jade Cargill and in her prime Jazz, Bianca Belair, and the Beast from WoW? Fatal 4-way.
That'll be a very interesting match, to be honest. I would love to go for Bianca. I would. But I'm probably going to give it to Jazz. No lie. Beast is really good. She is holding the title. She's really good, over there in WoW, killing it, dominating her promotion. But it's just something about Jazz that, she's unpredictable. She may be small, but she is very strong. And she's going to be in the ring with a lot of women who are much taller than her. But I promise you, it ain't gonna take nothing to put Shorty in that chicken wing and go about her business. Flat, and that's done. You know what I'm saying? So I would love for Bianca to be, but I'm gonna go with Jazz.
Okay. I appreciate that answer because I asked that question to Emily when we were doing WoW superheroes because WoW Superheroes was on and they were doing a whole special on the Beast, and I was just like, who could win with these four? This is a good idea. Like, and I just put it out there, so I had to ask you since we're on the subject of Jade. But yeah, in the comments, someone saying Bianca not in this convo. Yes, she is because I put her there. So the EST belongs anywhere we say she belongs. Now, moving forward, just had to get a little spicy there. We did have a little bit of announcements in terms of matches. Of course, Jamie Hayter, the AEW World Women's Champion, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, will be facing off against Saraya and a mystery partner on January the 11th. Not this Wednesday, but
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got something right there. Okay. Listen, I know that this is like AEW, but leave Bianca where she is, okay? Leave her alone. All right. Now, don't get me started. I like to be real calm and everything, and I like to listen to other people's opinions on what they feel, but I would like for you to explain to me how Bianca, the EST at WWE, is overrated. But Stephanie, go ahead and continue with announcing the matches that will be happening. So while I wait for that response.
Yeah, so Soraya is having a mystery partner on Wednesday, January the 11th against Jamie Hayter, the champion, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. There are so many speculations as to who this partner could be. Um, there's too many speculations, and it's literally freaking me out, and it's stressing me out in on a whole different level, because it could be somebody who used to have blue hair, or it could not be, or whatever. But it's just like, whoever it's going to be, we're going to figure it out on January the 11th, not this coming Wednesday, but the next Wednesday. The Wednesday after Raw, which is going to be in Birmingham, Alabama, my hometown. But yeah, it's going to be awesome, and I feel like the tag team match is going to be cool regardless to who she picks to be her partner, okay? And then they also announced that Jade Cargill and Red Velvet will be in a tag team match against Kiera Hogan and Sky Blue. I think this is interesting because Sky Blue really has been getting a whole lot of, traction and a lot of more experience on television. But then you also have Red Velvet, who's supposed to be tagging with Jade, and I don't know how well that's gonna go, considering they ain't been on the same page lately. But that's where we're at with the women so far. And then of course Friday night after Rampage, we have Battle of the Belts 4, and we have Orange Cassidy finally scoring off against Kip Sabian for the All Atlantic Championship. So there are a lot of things going on next Friday. But this is this Friday. And our main event on this episode of Rampage, New Year's Smash, was Wheeler Yuta, the ROH Pure Champion, versus Swerve and a Ditch Strickland. Now, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry. Yeah. Swerve and a Ditch Strickland. So they had their interview, of course, and Swerve Strickland was talking big game with his two partners, of course, Parker Boudreaux, and Grandin Goatsman, who people are still, feeling a little bit mysterious about because they don't know exactly, where he came from or what exactly Parker Boudreaux's, intentions are in terms of joining Swerve in this sort of devilish turn that he's taken after they both attacked Keith Lee and smashed a cinder block over his chest. It was sad. The Mogul affiliates there. That's their name. So Wheeler Yuta actually told him, like, yo, like, if you really want to fight me and if you think you're about that action, come without your team members. And then Swerve in a ditch said, say less, right? Yeah. But he still came out there with his partner. So I'm just sitting here like, how you gonna say less and then come out there with your people? When you say less, that means you agree. What are you doing? But at any rate, the match happened and the match was really good. It was a really solid action-packed thing. They both kind of have different wrestling styles, but they basically adapted to one another. Pretty good. It was lots of fun stuff going on. It was well paced. But Wheeler Yuta throughout the match was having his leg attacked, and he basically, couldn't really stand on it all too much. So he was favoring his leg throughout the match, but yet still hitting kip ups and so many different things. But you could tell he was still, hurting or whatever. But Swerve took advantage of the injury and wound up scoring the win. And he stood in the ring with his two buddies in the Mogul affiliates and was posing in the ring over Wheeler Yuta. This was a non-championship match, by the way. So Wheeler Yuta is still the ROH Pure Champion. This wasn't a title match. So this is where we are. Swerve and a Ditch Strickland is still wreaking havoc. And I was low-key waiting on Keith Lee to come up and attack him, because that would have gave me life. But, he didn't. And that was the end of Rampage. The final Rampage of 2022.
Oh Lord, you putting us.
So Stan, how did you feel about this match? And also, how do you feel about the Mogul affiliates and Mr. Swerve in a Ditch Strickland acting crazy?
I can care less about it. No lie. I'm not the biggest fan of Wheeler Yuta. I can care less about him. Swerve, I mean, we saw a lot of his changes happening over, you know, the couple of weeks and stuff and months with him and Keith Lee. And I mean, eventually it really just started off at and basically concluded at the ROH show, seeing that how he just left that man while he's having his match. So I don't know. I mean, this is gonna have to grow on me to see exactly what they have going on and stored for, you know, I guess this new Google affiliated, whatever they got going on. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it just needs to grow on me, and make me feel like I should be tuned in. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel like he's over here trying to do some hit row shit with two white guys, and that's it. You know, and that's not something that I would want to see at all whatsoever, because Swerve is a great talent. He
Yeah.
is. He can wrestle. He's great on the mic. He has a certain swag about him that I think it's just going to work. But I don't know if these two guys here that's with him is going to make me feel like I need to pay attention more. No offense to Harlan, because I do like Harlan. He's cool. Parker Rodeau is cool too, but I mean, I don't know. I can't really say as of right now because it's something that's starting. So I guess more so over the weeks that come along with it. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Right now I don't, because it just doesn't give me anything to make me feel like I should care. But who knows? Maybe over the weeks, like I said, that comes along, maybe I care. But right now I kind of don't. I don't feel
All I
anything.
want to say, in a way to be spicy, is just all I want to say is Black wrestling lives.
It does. There's a huge impact on various different ways. Whether, you know, you're the EST, you're the boss, you're Swerve, you're Jade, you know, you're whoever. I just feel as if, like, you know, when it comes to having someone like Swerve being a part of this group, I can care less. And that's pretty much all I can say. I don't
Okay.
I don't know it. Black
Yep, but
wrestling.
that's the end.
Hmm.
But I was just saying, yep, that's the end of Rampage.
That is, but I also want to dive into this person over here because we were chit chatting, and I don't know if the person that's back here backstage want to pop in or come back up. You on mute, Nikki?
Hey, Nikki returns.
She does. She has on her Charlotte shirt, and she's on mute because I keep trying to tell we can't hear her.
You know how to come back. I really came back, of course, to do the Charlotte shenanigans since we're done, but I'm not gonna hold y'all. But seriously, I think it's important for you guys to realize y'all have had an amazing year with this show. Last show of the year, I've enjoyed watching it because obviously I can't be a part of it because I'm at work. But you guys have such a great substance in what you do here, and so I feel like it was so important for me, not only for the Charlotte thing, but also to come in and just say that to both of y'all. I say it to Santana all the time, obviously, but Stephanie, I don't get to say it to you, obviously, because we don't get to work together. But here at Women's Wrestling Talk, I really, really, really enjoy how y'all do it, and y'all are so different. Oh my God, like Stephanie, you're such a super baby face, and just like, I just love it. Just so sweet. And then you have Santana, who's just this like roaring heel, but like so straight edge. Like, I just love it. So yeah, I just thought I'd pop in one last time with my Miss WrestleMania. Only one there. You know, Charlotte Flair did return. Did you hear? Charlotte Flair, y'all. Charlotte Flair is your new WWE Women's Champion. I mean, this is Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. You know?
It is.
But yes, congratulations to you guys.
Yes,
great year, and it's going to be a phenomenal show next week. And thank you to everyone who tuned in. Happy New Year, happy holidays, anything that you celebrate. Here at Women's Wrestling Talk, we have had an amazing year. Honestly, like it's been crazy, and this is our last show of the year. So None other than
this was already made before Charlotte even returned. Be quiet. Shut up. That list was already made, and we already.
I hate to spoil it. I hate to spoil it, but she's not even on the list.
She's not.
Charlotte Flair's not even in the top 25.
If you haven't even looked at the list, then
come on, JD.
Missing, to be honest.
Yeah, she hasn't been.
No,
she hasn't.
There's a few people that y'all may be looking for that's not on that list.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it yet, you definitely should go to Women's Wrestling Talk, and check that out and everything. I'll tell you that much. Definitely, well, don't look at the website there. But go to Instagram. You will see the list there.
Yes.
We haven't announced number one yet.
No.
We will, but that's probably gonna happen tomorrow, to be honest. We've already posted 2 through 25 already. On Instagram, so you guys can look on there, W Talk Pod, and check out that. I wanted to do something in regards to maybe have something like a discussion about it, maybe tomorrow or something that people were free to talk about it, but I don't know. I mean, it's really up. I'll probably exit chat or whatever, see what everybody's, doing or thinking about it. We just probably go live to talk about the list and things like that, and have like an open discussion. And maybe, you bring in your New Year's with Women's Wrestling Talk, if that's only if, I don't care if it's 2 people on here. I don't care about myself. Like we'll chit chat all night. Okay. We'll watch some old videos here. Like I will make this into like one of them like streamer type things, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So
I think it's a must, to be honest.
Well, I'll see what TK thinks. She ain't gonna join, but I'll see what she thinks. And we'll pretty much go from there. Just ask both chats if writers want to join too, because it would be nice to have them on there because they did the list. And also have the host too to talk about it too. So
and I think it was, to be honest, people like Charlotte didn't make the list as much as I mark out for her, because there were so many women that were really killing it. Like there were a lot of women who were killing it. And I mean, like from January to December, you got people like Ali Catch. You got people like Masha Slamovich. You got people like Camille. You got people like Jordan Grace. Like there was a handful of women who were consistently for a 365 wrestling year. So it just felt, it is. It just felt right.
Maybe I should announce number one on the show, actually, if we choose to do one.
Like today?
No, not well, I mean, it's 12 o'clock, so Happy New Eve. So, like, on the after show, just do it that way.
Okay.
Maybe so.
I think we should do it Sunday then.
Sunday?
Yeah, just before Turnbuckle Land.
Okay, we're going to do it Sunday. Well, yeah, let's do it that way then.
Because Sunday's the first.
That is. What if everybody is free and want to do it? Like I said, I'll hop in the chat, see what everybody's doing and everything.
And even if some of the writers can't come in, the host can come in too. I would love to know what they think.
Yeah.
But
I would like the writers to be in there.
Like I have an idea.
If not all of them, then some can be there, at least to, talk about it and things like that. You guys, like I say, you bring in your little New Year's with Women's Wrestling Talk before we dive into Turnbuckle Glam and talk about the mess that people look like starting in the New Year.
Woo! It's going to be fun. It's going to be very messy.
New
categories. Yeah, but thank you guys for welcoming welcoming me here. Just for the pieces.
Yeah, of course.
I love it.
Yes, and thank you so much for your words of kindness. I really hate that we aren't on shows together.
I know.
But it's just like life is hard. And
life is hard.
Yeah, but it's just like we try our best. But the moments you do pop, it's nice, and I love it. And I love your energy and your passion and everything. So I appreciate you and love you both so very much.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. She's not gonna say it, but I'm gonna tell you, I love you, Stephanie.
I'm not.
I'll tell you.
Yes, Santana. She won't share.
I know it.
She's so funny.
Like y'all have no idea. Last night, Santana was really giving me like a heartfelt. I was about to cry.
Oh, see, and
Like, and I was like,
goodness.
what? I just couldn't even hold it in. I had to respond how I would think that Santana would respond. So I just responded and was like,
you can't roll with her. You can't roll with a person be me. It's just not gonna work.
Absolutely. Jesus.
Y'all so silly.
Yes, of course I came back for Charlotte. But no, seriously, we've had some amazing shows this year, and this is one of them and many more. I feel like there's going to be some more shows coming. Honestly.
Who knows? It might be. You know,
it might be.
I wish we could do like some streaming stuff from here, like everybody get on and play the game or some shit.
Yeah.
Cause I'm knocking y'all down. I'm knocking y'all down in WWE. I tell you what, it definitely.
Oh, if we play Tekken though, I'll really slap Tekken though.
Yeah, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. Like,
really, all you have to do in Tekken is press buttons.
Yeah, you do. But however, them combos come in.
Ooh, I don't know. I'll just be a bystander.
Nigga be the ref or something.
Just press the button.
I'm not competitive, but I have a competitive.
I'm very competitive.
Nobody knows it though. Like when you look at me, do I look competitive?
Too.
Like no, you don't. But I know you are.
My competitiveness is on the strategy side. Yeah. So
my competitive is more like I like more fitness and being athletic and just like I just like, love that so much.
I can mind fuck you.
He's more strategic.
I'm competitive too, but I get even more competitive with my boyfriend though. See, that's when it gets real raunchy between us two.
They're always competitive though. They be ready. They be on go anyway. So
yeah,
we're not gonna stay here too long, y'all, because we'll chit chat. But yeah, SmackDown is in Memphis next week. I don't know. I mean, it's right next door to me. It's like 2 hours away. I might have to.
I'm disgusted. Like I have to work, so I'm disgusted.
I would love to go. To be honest, it would be really nice if I could go. I would go.
But we're getting Raw, so
we're getting Raw too.
Yeah,
I mean, I could go to Raw where Stephanie is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I could. I don't know.
That's so crazy. Stephanie, you are not that far from me either.
I know.
You're not. You're not. Do you ever come to Nashville?
I need to come to Nashville. I have family up there.
You should definitely.
I should. I really should. We talked about my boyfriend about going to Nashville like years ago, but it was the pandemic.
That's why Nikki's trying to get everybody to move to Nashville. She think Nashville's like
the problem.
There's a problem.
No, I'm not saying it's the greatest place on earth. I'm not saying it's the greatest place on earth.
But people like it's the best thing ever. Like
it's the best thing.
We're in the middle of everything. We're here.
We're 30-30.
Like it is the best thing ever.
It's so nice here. It's calm. It's peaceful. We got a lot of traction going on and stuff like that. Like Nick was one of those. Santana's gonna move here, live in her skyline apartment or whatever, and I want to live on a farm or some shit. Like total opposite.
There it is.
But I need to go. I'm gonna try and come up there at some point. I'm gonna try.
Please do.
Yes, please absolutely. Do. Yes.
We ain't gonna hold y'all no much longer. We're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Happy New Year's Eve to you guys. Definitely, we definitely appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out with us every Friday, even if it's like just me in here without Stephanie or Stephanie here by herself, things like that. So we definitely do appreciate Nikki, my tag partner. If you don't know, this is the other half of the Salt Shakers. And it's been a pleasure to work with Stephanie as well. I don't work with a lot of people. And I don't like to work with a lot of people. I'm not a group project person. I'm definitely a do it by myself person. So if and Stephanie, thank you for putting up with a lot of my mess. You know, it gets a little spicy over here sometimes.
Yeah, Yeah, it does, but it's still okay because it's just like, I mean, yeah, you get crazy, but either way, we work together and it works.
It does. Everybody, not everybody can work with me. It's you got to be a special kind of person for me to allow you to work with me because not everybody gets to do that. But once again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us each and every week. Thank you for hanging out with me and Nikki on Mondays and Thursdays too in Turnbuckle Glam as well. This will be having our first show January the 1st. You'll be starting your new year off with Turnbuckle Glam crew. We'll be bringing in a lot of new things, new content, new categories, new graphics. It's going to be real good.
If you haven't, we had our first annual award show. We had Chelsea Green and Giselle. What?
I did. It was like Santana even fired herself once. I heard. I did. I wasn't supposed to listen.
Oh Lord.
I wasn't supposed to be back into a Royal Rumble anyway. But our boss TK.
How you fire yourself?
Huh?
How you fire yourself, Santana?
Well, when I told TK that I was going to be like not coming back for like 6 to 8 months, I wasn't going to come back into like Royal Rumble. She was like, nah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to fire myself. But also I fired myself on WT Live because she said that people who are part of the contest or the giveaways, you could not work for Women's Wrestling Talk. So I fired myself on that show so that I was no longer employed with Women's Wrestling Talk for that moment. Just so I get it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? But then I got rehired, so. Like I never know.
But like I was saying before we get out of here, we have an first annual Turnbuckle Glam end of the year awards. Santana did all of the graphics for that award show, and it looks so amazing. All of the visual. We had a pop in from Giselle Shaw, and we also had a pop in from Chelsea Green as well. So make sure you check that out. It was so amazing. Shout out to them. And then last night, of course, we had our end of the year Impact Awards first annually, and Tasha Steeles popped in to accept her award for Knockout of the Year. So
Yeah, and then of course you can always catch Wow Superheroes After Show, which takes place on Mondays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, because they have been still doing new episodes. Last week, which even this weekend, they will have a new episode. So they're gonna keep it going. And we're gonna keep talking about it. Me, Katrina, and Emily. We're gonna keep talking about Wow Superheroes because they are getting it cracking over there, and it's really cool. And I love talking about it. So it's going to be great stuff.
They are. Yeah. So we're going to go and wrap this up. Stephanie, let everyone know where they can keep up with you. And did y'all better go get her merch. I told y'all last week that y'all better be getting Stephanie's merch. And if you haven't got Stephanie's merch, don't let me start off the new year pulling up at y'all houses, because I will. I'll find your IP address and I will pull up at your house and start banging on your door. Okay. And if you got a ring camera, best believe I'm in it. Okay.
Sam, you can't be threatening people to buy my merchandise. But here's a nicer version. Here's a nicer version of me. Please buy my For Your Wear merchandise where you select your Alabama Wrestling Legends fighter. The t-shirt celebrates Alabama wrestling icons such as Teddy Long, Sensational Sherry, Kayla Braxton, Deborah Fuego del Sol, and Paul Bearer. So please check out that t-shirt on foryourwear.com/Hardy Wrestling Podcast. And the t-shirts and the hoodies come in red and black. So yeah. Please purchase, and thank you so much, and follow the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and be on the lookout for new episodes involving wrestling and not involving wrestling, because I'd be starting an after show about the Best Man, the final chapters as well. So please check that out as well. So yeah, your girl is trying to branch out in things next year. But please don't please don't get beat up trying to buy my things, but don't get beat up.
What JD say? I got my ghost face shirt on. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's ready to go, guys. Like
Scream 6 is dropping real soon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting prepared. I'm gonna be just like Billy.
Don't make her come out of herself. Just buy the clothes. Buy the clothes.
I'm gonna be like, Joe, you is coming up too if you haven't watched Netflix.
Acting like you do bloodline things. Calm down, Santana.
Or
please calm down.
End up like Doofy. Nickie, where can everyone follow you at?
Listen, you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nickie Booshie. And of course, I'm here on Monday nights and Thursday nights and sometimes on Sundays. And hell, sometimes on Friday nights if I decide to pop in or Charlotte Flair comes. Yeah, but follow me on Twitter because that's the best way. I just feel like that's just so much easier. I know for 1 minute we were scared that Twitter was gonna like die or something, and that was just weird. And so here we are, 2023. Y'all. Follow me on Twitter.
It still might. You never know. As for me, of course, you can always Google me. That's where you can always find me. Driune Santana. That's me. You're gonna find me. Everything about me is there. Not everything, but not my OnlyFans, but everything else is there. I don't have one of those. But make sure you guys do follow the Instagram for Women's Wrestling Talk. All things social media, WWE Talk POD for Women's Wrestling Talk. 60 days in, Lord. Definitely make sure you check out the website as well, www.talkpod.com. Articles going out each and every day, except for this week. I gave the writers off because I'm a great boss.
Could you imagine though, like all this stuff going on and like we have the week off? What?
Listen, we're talking about it on the show, so that's enough.
Obviously, yeah, that's all we need. I thought about that before I went to bed last night.
I'm like, we're talking about on the show. It is what it is. I gave everybody the week off to enjoy yourselves and stuff like that because I'm not gonna make you nothing if I'm not gonna do nothing. But once again, we definitely do appreciate it. This is our last show of the year before we roll over to the new year, and thank you guys for all the support. We really do appreciate it, and continue to support us moving into the next year. Make sure you go ahead and manifest, write in your journal what your goals are and things you want to do going into 2023. Because today is the last day. That's all I'm gonna say. Point blank period. So thank you guys once again. This is Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.